So the reason I made the move from hospitality was because even though I enjoyed my job immensely and I liked helping people with their special events, their wedding days, and selling somewhere fantastic like Silverstone, which is such an iconic venue, I wasn't making a difference. I didn't feel that personally I was making a difference. So I wanted to actually help people, and I'm not a clinician, so I can't fix people. But the skill I have is to be able to help people make the right decisions, to lead them to something which is better for them, to help them live better and help them live well. I love that overall it's about care. That of course it's a business. We all know that we're in a private care home in the private sector, and care is expensive, but the main fundamentals is care. And that our residents are the priority. So I'm going to talk about Fred. Fred moved into Gracewell of Kentford in 2013, in the August. He was brought to us by Continuing Healthcare fast track funding, and his prognosis was that he would have 2 weeks to live. His family were prepared, they were by his bedside, and he moved in very, very poorly, on lots of different tablets. I'm surprised he didn't rattle, he was on that many things. So Kentford, we took him off everything and we just made him comfortable. So 2 weeks later, he was back on his feet. He was starting to be able to look after himself again. Fred was, he had a fantastic life. He was a war veteran. He was a father, a husband, an uncle, and a friend to many, many people. A big character in the Newmarket community. He was actually at Normandy Beach on D-Day, and he would always reminisce and say he didn't expect to come back. And that afterwards he came back to his lovely wife, and they had a daughter, and they didn't have any more children because at that time they couldn't afford it, and it was very hard, but he lived every day. And he said that after he had been in the war and how terrible it was, that he would wake up every day, and it doesn't matter what the weather is, what it's like outside, he'd open those curtains and he would say, I'm going to have a good day, I'm going to enjoy my life. And he did. So on the 30th of January this year, Fred celebrated his 100th birthday. So this was the man who came in with 2 weeks to live, and 3 years later he was still with us and living life. He had 2 parties, nearly had 3 because he was telling everyone the wrong day, so a lot of people turned up on the Saturday, but he had his family birthday party on the Sunday, and then he had his Kentford family party on the Monday. His favourite singer Jackie came and he danced with her. Fred would also join in our fashion shows, and he would be a model. So a 100-year-old model. It was fantastic, and everyone knew Fred. He would also walk into my presentations, so I'd be sat in a private room with a family talking about Gracewell of Kentford, talking about their challenges, and Fred would walk in unannounced and he would say, well done, you've found the best home. You may find somewhere similar to Kentford, but you won't find anywhere better. And then he'd go off on his way, and I'd have to quickly say, I promise I haven't paid him, he's not on commission. And he was a real character. 5 weeks after Fred's birthday, he sadly passed away. He went to sleep. His family were all around him, and he had reached his milestone. His 100th birthday was his milestone, and I had the privilege of attending his funeral a couple of weeks later, and his family just couldn't thank us enough. They made speeches in the church about how he was so happy at Kentford and how they're so pleased that he spent his last years somewhere that he loved. And that's my story about Fred.